Everybody knows that I love my Google Pixel phones over the years, and I'm not the only one. Someone may have come back to the fold. Let's talk about it right now.
You're watching The Pairing Mode.
Not yet.
What do you mean not yet? You already got the phone. Show it to him.
Oh, it's downstairs charging on the crappy wireless charger.
Why wouldn't you bring it upstairs to show it off on
Why
the
did they be
podcast?
showing off a phone that I'm not using on my daily driver? It's not my daily driver.
It doesn't have to be the daily driver. It's
it's charging. It has been off the charger for 2 days.
For the last 3 years, you have been pixel this, pixel that in the negative light. And then, out of nowhere, he suddenly texts me, shows me a picture of this new phone, and every text about it since has been, I think I'm really liking this. I like this about it. I like that about it.
Well, I've always liked the Pixels, and it really wasn't the
because
Pixel
this one still
that
works?
pissed me off. That's right. It wasn't the Pixel that pissed me off. It was Google that pissed me off.
Well, okay, fair enough.
It wasn't the device that was the issue. It was the manufacturer of the device.
Yeah.
But yeah. So who knows? But maybe I do like it. The screen is nice. I did have to get the regular Pro, not the big one, and a smaller
that's
space. But that was a financial choice. Not anything other than that.
Right.
So, but yeah, it's nice. It's nice. And so far, it's been good.
Well, that's good to know.
And there's some things, like I told you, that I sent you the picture about that weather forecast for the screensaver.
Right.
Super nice. For whatever reason, Samsung does not have that. I don't understand why they don't have it.
That's a crazy thing, is I never could get the sucker to. Well, I've got my phone screen on there. I never could get the thing to work, and I ended up giving up, thinking, it just doesn't work for me for whatever reason, and I couldn't find anybody else complaining about it. So I thought, okay, well, I got a glitchy one. I've already had the phone for a while. I don't care. It's not that important to me. And then one day, just yesterday, suddenly I looked over and my phone just suddenly jumped into the screensaver. I'm like, wait, what? This is cool. So I went into the settings again, and I changed, and I checked all the different ones out, and they all worked. As soon as I put it on the charger, turn off the screen, bam, there it is. If the screen's on, no, the screen's off, screensaver's on. If it's on the charger, wireless or wired. But then I checked the one that I decided I wanted, and it didn't work. And I realized all this time, if I tried to check one of the other ones, it would have worked. So for whatever reason, it's just that one doesn't work.
Interesting.
Very strange.
Yeah, I didn't try any others because I was like, oh, that's awesome, because I could set it right in front of me on the desk and have and the Google Weather app with their update looks really awesome. I really like the UI on it.
I'm having issues again. Nice. Keep talking. I will be right back.
Okay. Again. Yeah. So this is like the fourth time today that's happened. We don't know why his phone keeps cutting off, because he uses his other Pixel for his camera, which has worked fine for a year and a half. But for some reason here recently, it's been giving him problems. But hopefully he'll get it figured out and he'll jump back in here real quick.
This episode is brought to you by our friends at Chop AI. As a podcaster, one of the biggest challenges is getting your content discovered. That's where Chop AI comes in. Their powerful AI platform automatically finds the most compelling moments from our show and transforms them into short, shareable clips, perfect for social media. It saves us countless hours of editing and helps us reach new listeners just like you. Ready to grow your brand? Well, visit them at chopai.app to see how it works. There'll be a link in the description. And now, back to the podcast.
The Pixel 10. You know what? First impressions.
I really like the feel of the phone. It feels far more premium than I remember the Pixel feeling.
Yeah, definitely.
The screen seems to be much brighter than I remember other Pixel screens being,
Oh, it's by
which I
far
like.
brighter. It's by far
Yeah.
brighter. Last Pixel you had was maybe 1,500 nits. This is more than double that, or at least double that.
Yeah, and it's a lot snappier. So obviously, I know the Tensor obviously update. That's obvious.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, all of the integration with Gemini is a little more seamless than Samsung. Even though Samsung does a good job because they're pretty in bed with Google, but there are still some things that are kind of weird with the
Right.
integration.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it's been nice. I've like I say, there's a few things like, oh, this has that, Samsung doesn't. Oh, Samsung has this, that doesn't.
And I guess the
It's
camera is
kind
going to be pretty much the same way you remember previous Pixels, maybe with the exception, of course, of the Super Res and what's it beyond 30 called again? It's ProRes Zoom.
oh yeah, and that AI's upscale zoom is amazing. It
Yeah.
actually does like a phenomenal job of making a
Yeah.
super crystal clear picture. So that's pretty impressive.
Have you done comparison 100 times zooms with your two phones yet?
No, not yet. I haven't. No,
Yeah, I got to
I
see
might I
that.
might
I
do
got
some
to see
stuff this
that.
weekend.
Yeah. So you should do two
So
two different things. Like one with something that's just across the street and you just want to get in tight, right? Not necessarily, a wide street, right? Something like that, or maybe a half a block away, right? And another one where if you're somewhere and you can look way down the road, like much further away. I think what you'll find is that there'll be less of a difference the further away it is. One, the Samsung might let's just look fuzzier, and the Google might start looking like a watercolor if it's too far away. Right? It'll look like it's done by AI, right?
yeah,
But if it's closer and you're just zooming in to get closer, something closer, it can still see that detail, so it's able to rebuild it as it gets closer. And this is how that basically works. I mean, AI can make a fake human being look like a real human being, even in video. So this isn't that shocking. I do
yeah,
believe future versions of these super zooms, digital zooms with AI are just going to get better, like other AI.
sure, sure, yeah. And I mean, honestly, I mean, I could do a test, but I never use, even if it comes out better, I never use it because I don't really have any need for
Well, yeah,
100x
yeah.
zoom.
It's a
In
toy.
the up until like 2, 5, 10, I use those zoom levels fairly often, so
Yeah.
that's pretty good.
I usually draw the line at 10 myself. 20 is a possibility with pixels. It's an absolutely stunning result, even at 20, in good light. But
Yeah,
I still draw the line usually around between 5 and 10. Because it doesn't sound like a big number, but 5 times zoom means it's 5 times closer than the
right,
normal wide camera. So if you think
right,
something's too wide, go to 2 times. Why? Because you don't really lose any quality at 2 times. At 3 times, you start losing quality. Yes, they have super res zoom on a pixel, so you don't notice it as much. But I guarantee you, 4.9 times zoom versus 5 times zoom is a huge difference. You see it.
yeah,
You're better off to stop at 3 at the most and jump to 5.
yeah.
And the same thing goes when you
Now,
go over 5. Get all the way to 10. Because for some unknown reason, 5.5 times zoom doesn't look as good as 10 times does. 10 times zoom, by the
yeah,
way, is actually only 2 times zoom because it's done on the 5 times lens. So it's actually 2 times from the 5 times lens. And 100
yeah,
times
and
is actually
the
50.
the MagSafe on the phone is, the magnets are phenomenal. It's
Oh,
very
good. Yeah.
strong. I'm actually very surprised. I sent you that article. Somebody, bitching and moaning, oh, it's broken and you can't fix it. Well, I'm sorry. I've been using it literally every day, so I have it. It like connects instantly. I have a case on it. I always put cases on it. Um, and it charges fine. I mean, I don't honestly, all this super fast charging thing, I don't need to charge my
It's
phone.
not even a good thing.
No, it's
Yeah,
not. You know,
it's not
I
good
put
for a
mine on the
battery. So
charger at night when I go to bed, and if it's 10 or 15 watts and it takes 5 hours, who gives a shit? I'm sleeping. I don't care. I get up, it's fully charged. That's all I care about.
yeah, well,
You know,
listen, I
and
have a slower wireless charger than you because I still have the Pixel 9 Pro XL, and it's maximum. Oh, I forgot what the maximum. I think 15 watts. It's probably only charging at 13.5. But I wake up
yeah,
in the morning and it's fully charged. And if I get up earlier and I absolutely have to leave now and it's only at 80%, I just take it off the wireless charger and plug in the wired charger I have right beside it at
yeah.
35 watts. And
And boom, it's done.
I go to take a shower when I come back. It's done.
Yeah, yeah.
That's it.
So
Yeah.
complaining about something like that to me is like it's just somebody wanting to bitch. Now, apparently, it's only a Pro issue, not a Pro XL issue. Whatever, it works
Yeah.
fine for me. It's totally fine. I can tell you this: I'm actually really disappointed in S25 wireless charging because the way they did the magnets. I mean, not magnets. Sorry, the charging coil in
Right,
here.
right.
When you put a case on it, yeah, you have MagSafe cases and all that. Even without it, it just, I don't know, it just doesn't work as well as other wireless
It
charging
sits
phones
too
I've had. Even
high.
the S23, it
Yeah.
sits too high in my opinion, and that's been an issue with cases. Now, this case I have here has a flush camera bump, which has been nice, but the case is a little thicker. But the phone itself gets really warm. So again, if I'm going to charge at 30 watts wireless, it's going to catch fire. Not really, but you know what I'm saying. It's
Right.
going to get too warm,
Yeah.
and I've tried many different cases. This is like my fifth MagSafe case that I've tried for this phone. And every single one of them, I could drive down the road, same charger I've been using for years with every other that's been fine. And it's a QI2 charger, 15 watt, does fast wireless charging. It'll disconnect every now and then. I'll look at the phone, it'll suddenly light up, and you'll see how when you plug it up, it has a little
Right.
charging
Yeah.
indicator. You'll see that come across the screen like it just started charging. It's annoying as
I
hell.
had that
Honestly,
problem
it is.
after about 6 months with my Pixel 8 Pro, intermittently, and it would happen for a couple days in a row and then not happen for 3 months. I've never had
Yeah,
that
well,
problem
it
with the
happens
Yeah, I never had that
from
problem
the
with the
get
Pixel.
go with this. It started.
I've never had that problem with the Pixel 9 Pro XL, not once.
Yeah,
Which is nice. It's just I put it on the
but
charger, it charges instantly.
yeah, this Pixel 10 Pro, man, strong magnets in it. I've tested it and it doesn't lose any kind of connection at
Audio
all ever.
quality when you're
Like
talking on the phone.
I don't make any real phone calls, especially this is a second
Well, yeah.
phone that's going to be used for business
Oh, okay,
purposes, and I
all right.
haven't
Fair enough. Fair enough.
really used it.
But you're
But
you're
yeah,
happy
I'm
with the
sure it would
screen
be fine.
quality, I imagine. How does the
I mean,
screen
I'm happy
look
with
compared
everything.
to the
So
Samsung, which is known to have supposedly for at least 5 years, Samsung was like the king of the phone screen. Yes, I did that with air quotes.
yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I mean, to me, it's very comfortable. It's not like I would look at the Samsung and go, "Oh my gosh, I can't go away from that." I mean, the Pixel screen looks great. I mean, it
Yeah.
looks great. So
Hey,
I don't.
I think that there's been people who've debated over which one looks better, and the truth of the matter is, it really only comes down to color science. Because
And it comes
first
down
of
to
all,
your
it's a
preference too.
top range. I mean, all the previous Pixels up to the Pixel 8 were lower tiered screens that they purchased from Samsung. This one is a top tier screen. They paid
Yeah,
them for a screen that even Samsung refused to put on their own phone, which is absolutely
yeah,
mind boggling to me. It's better than
yeah.
Samsung's screen in the sense that it's brighter. And it is the brightest one you can get that isn't
It's
a
definitely
Chinese
bright.
made phone. 3,000 nits.
Yeah, it's
It's
definitely
like
bright.
your TV doesn't hit 3,000 nits, buddy.
And I like my screen bright.
Yeah,
So
so do I.
that's a plus for me. A
Well,
lot
I
of people
mean,
don't.
the page I have on here. Oh, I don't even have it on here. Page I have in here is mostly white. So I mean, you can see that's well. Actually, you can't really see it. It's not focused very well.
Yeah.
But it's white. Oh, that was not the screen. That's why it didn't look right. That was Facebook app for some reason. That's my bad. I was trying to
So
show
I've
something
been, I
else.
mean, for the little time I've had it, I've been, happy with it. Again, I've been a
Right.
long-term Pixel user before this whole Samsung debacle. I mean,
Debacle.
Pixel
Pixel
7 debacle.
debacle?
I think it was a
Yeah,
Pixel 7.
I
Was it
believe
Pixel
so, yes.
7?
Yes, it
Yeah.
was.
So that, yeah. So it's, yeah. And here's ironically, so both my stepson and his wife live up north. They both are Pixel users. They love Pixels. She uses my old Pixel 7 Pro, the refurb one I got that I got rid of because I just bought the Samsung.
Yeah.
She's still using it. It's working fine. And it worked fine when I got it. My issue wasn't that it didn't work fine. My issue was they gave me a used phone for a brand new one that was a week old. That was my issue. Anyways,
Right. I remember
he
that.
still uses a Pixel 6. He has a 6. She has a 7 Pro. And they love it. Now he's probably going to upgrade his because there's some things that the 6 doesn't have that he wants, and it's kind of getting long in the tooth, and it's slow, and it's the charging
Yeah.
port on it doesn't work right, and
Right.
yada yada yada. But so he's probably going to upgrade, and he'll probably get a Pixel 9 maybe.
Well, the camera I
But
usually use is my Pixel 7 Pro, and it's interesting that the only reason why it happened is because I was having issues that were actually computer related, and it turns out not phone related. And I only found out about that after, but I was trying to use my Pixel 8 Pro as the camera, and the computer issues were happening. And I guess I got it fixed about the same time I hooked up the 7 Pro, and the 7 Pro just always worked. So I thought, you know what? It looks just as good as anything else.
yeah,
And watching this, you can't really tell, but the one I got here is now the Pixel 8 Pro. And of course, here's my Pixel 9 Pro. All these phones still work. So I'm not having an issue with them. And this one's old as sin. My Pixel 6 Pro is the only Pixel I've ever sold. And I don't remember why I went out and did that. You know what? I actually, I don't remember. I remember that I sold it for some weird reason to a guy that worked next door to where I was working at the time. And he gave me a half.
maybe he was an
buck for
iPhone
it.
user, and you were bringing him over to the fold.
No, he wasn't. He was a Samsung user, and I was bringing him over to the fold.
Oh,
But I showed it to him. He didn't want
yeah.
anything fancy, and he asked me how much do you want for it, and blah blah blah. I told him. He said, "Okay, I can pay that." And Bob's your uncle.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I have a decision to make. So if I decide that I'm going to come back, obviously I'm not going to get the Samsung S26 Ultra, which is coming out February. Well, they're supposed to now, I've read, launch in January for deliveries in February, as opposed to launch in February's delivery in March or something like that. I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah.
But if I did switch over, obviously I'm not going to buy the S26 Ultra. I would just trade this in for a Pixel 10 Pro XL. I don't know that I'd wait for the 11.
Did you hear that, folks? Robert is actually thinking about fully coming back into the fold permanently. And to our friend
Maybe.
who is probably watching, because I think he's watched every episode. Thank you for that, by the way. Craig. Yes, shout out to Craig. Thanks for being our biggest subscriber, watching every episode. And I'm going to say this right now. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It's an inside. I lost my earphone here. It's an inside joke, and
But I mean, I've
Craig
never
gets it.
hated the Pixel. I've never not liked the Pixel. It was way more political and bureaucratic reason why I left than it was.
yeah, it wasn't
device.
it wasn't technically the phone itself. It was the bad
No.
handling of customer
Things
service.
happen to phones. I mean, I've been in technology long enough to know things happen. I don't get bent out of shape about it. I just, okay, let's get another one. No big deal. And when not, happened, it's just like I went round and round. But anyways, I'm not getting into that again. It's just,
Yeah, no,
it's
absolutely not.
never been the phone. And I've been actually pleasantly happy with the Samsungs. I was like, wow, when I got that S23, I was like, wow, this is a really nice phone. I mean, this is pretty nice. Before that, the Samsung phones I've used because of the bloatware and all the crap. I was like, man, these just aren't
Oh, the
good. I'm
old
not
days
going
of
back to the other.
TouchWiz were terrible for starters.
Oh yeah, TouchWiz was horrible. So they have improved that tremendously with the One UI process, but
Yeah.
yeah. So I don't know. Maybe I will. It's a nice phone. Obviously, it's the smaller one. If I'm going to have a daily driver, I'm gonna have the bigger one because I like big phones.
You hear that? You hear that,
But
Google? You should pay attention. He's got a growing channel. He does some reviews. Send him a free
yeah,
unit.
yeah.
Cheap plug.
Obsidian, Obsidian XL, please.
Yeah, Obsidian. Come on, go with something more bold. Oh, right, you're talking about the
No,
XL. You only got 3 choices.
but I always have cases on it. Like
yeah,
I've had
that's very true. Yeah,
this is a
yeah.
color and you can't see it because I always have a case on it. So
But
it's like,
yeah, exactly. So I even go out of my way to try to get whatever color I can get, from the brand
Yeah.
that I'm getting the case from,
right.
just because I need something, right?
Yeah. And I know they have clear cases. I mean, they have some nice clear cases are out now, but
I'm afraid of them because I tried to clear a case just the one time because I remember I think it was the Pixel 4, because I wanted to. They didn't. What did they call them back then? Pixel 4. Oh, it's just XL. Then they went Pro, then Pro XL, right? But I had the Pixel 4, and I wanted the orange one because they decided to go give you nice bold colors back then. You couldn't get it.
Yeah.
It was impossible to get it unless you were like standing in line and on your knees. I didn't say that. I'm just kidding. Anyways, so I went straight to D brand, of course, or maybe it was the other company. I can't remember the name of it right now. And I put the little
Spigen, Spigen, Spoogen.
No. The other one that does the I forgot what you call it. What's the matter with me? When you put the stuff on your phone, it's not a case, but you change the color or the look.
Yeah.
What is wrong with me?
I don't know. I know
they're basically stickers. Anyways, I got that, and it looked great. Everybody loved it. Of course, it started peeling off, so maybe I should have went with D brand. But in any case, a cheap plug for D brand. Sponsor us. Anyways, I should have went with D brand. But it did look great for a time, and eventually I peeled it off because I wanted to put a case on it. I had previously broken 2 consecutive phones, and I was like, I never put a case on any phone until that time. After that, I said, you know what, I got to put a case on every one of them, because when the first phone I broke, I was upset. I just wasted $400. Then I broke another phone. It's 8 months later, and that was another $600 or no $500 and some dollars. And then the next phone I got cost me over $800. And these are just each year getting a new phone, and they cost that much more every year for that time. And at that point, I was like, I can't. When they get to the point of being $1,100, you don't want to break your phone.
Yeah, I'll never forget the time before the Pixels were out. I was using an LG. I had just gotten a brand new LG. I forget which one it was. Super nice, had a great screen, and
G5?
I was in my car.
No, that's after Pixel. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was, but at any rate, it was sitting on my leg, because I just took off from a light, and I wasn't using the phone. I had just set it down. And it slid off my leg between my seat, and the seat rail hit the screen just right and cracked the screen right diagonal. I had it for 3 days.
Oh,
my case was coming the next day.
Oh, well, the case wouldn't have helped it. It hit the screen.
Well, but who knows? I don't know. Well, maybe it wouldn't have fallen just right. I don't know. But I'm just like, it's just my luck. It's just like whatever.
That's mine was somebody decided they had to go through a screen door, and they had to get through it before me, and the slight bit of elbow hitting my arm, phone goes like this, and lands on a corner, bounces, lands on another corner, bounces, lands on another corner, and then lands flat, face down. There was not a single portion of that screen that was readable after that. And it's unbelievable. I've actually lost a phone too. which because I was like, I got to go to the store. I got to go to the store. And it's one of those things where you just like, I don't want to go. And you go, okay, I got to go right now. And then you realize, okay, they're closed in 12 minutes and they're a block away. So I'm running and I've got to go under an underpass, a rail underpass. And I'm booking it down this thing. And I look at my phone to see the time. I put it back in my pocket and I'm booking it. I get to the store. Store's still open. I try to grab my stuff. I wasn't pulling out my phone. We didn't pay with phones. But I remember getting to the door and opening it. And it was still open. And I was going to look at my phone to see how much time I had to shop. No phone. Uh-oh. I know it was there when I went under the underpass. And that was less than 30 seconds ago. So book it back the other way. The one guy that was on the street when I ran past him picked up my phone and ran off with it. Like, are you kidding? I mean, you can't use it.
And back then there was no Find My Device.
Well,
there was none of that.
There was no Find My Device, but I mean, it's still locked, right? I mean, did he have a way of getting into it? Possibly, but
yeah, but to Find My Device, you could wipe it. At least.
Not only that, I could track it.
Well, yeah,
and then beat the shit out of him. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that. But yeah, I would have. I honestly, there was a time where I was carrying two phones at once, and if that happened, one of my phones fell out of my pocket, and I knew it was less than 30 seconds ago, I would track it while it moved. Probably some of you thinking, oh, I can turn it off. If it happened right now with a Pixel phone, you can track it while it's off for a short time.
Yeah,
it's a thing now, which is awesome.
Yeah, I'm just saying. The case I have on the Pixel is a kind of a frost see-through. It's not completely clear, and it looks pretty good.
Yeah, well, I was
it's got the metal ring on it.
Yeah, I was afraid to get them because, like I said, I did get that screen, the case, the clear case for when I had the orange on the phone on the Pixel 4.
Yeah.
And it yellowed within seconds. I mean, I'm exaggerating.
Yeah, they don't really do that anymore.
Yeah, that's what I'm told,
do that
but
too, they don't really do that anymore.
I'm still afraid. I think they were using really, really cheap materials to make them originally. And with all the complaints that came in, they, some of the top end companies like Spigen or Spigen, as you like to call it, and other companies, started doing their research and getting proper things made. But I'm still afraid to put a clear one on.
Well, and a lot of them, what they started to do is on the back plate was like a hard polycarbonate, and then they had the like silicone edge for the the corner protection, which is fine. I mean, I have no issue with that. But sometimes they would make this part that was so like, I don't know, it would get smeared real bad. Yeah, so I don't know. I've just always there's been some cases I haven't minded, but for whatever reason I've gotten rid of it. And that's another thing too. Some of the cases I've used on here, and I think it has to do with how this wireless charging is set up. And there's a couple of Spigens that have done this, and they've been clear cases. Around the edge where the charging ring is, on the case itself, you can see like spider cracks coming off around the ring, like on the case. So like where like maybe the case was getting hot, or the electricity being sent through the case was like arcing on the case. I don't know. It was weird. It happened twice, two different cases. I'm like, okay, that's just weird. And there was like, I didn't drop it. There's no cracks anywhere. And you could look at it real close, like take a picture of it, and zoom in. And they were like lightning bolts. So I'm just not real happy with the wireless charging on this at all.
Wow.
That's another thing. So.
But you are happy with the wireless charging on the Pixel 10 Pro.
Yeah, I mean, it's again super strong magnets. And here's another thing that I like too about what they've done is, how the iPhones, they have that little magnet piece that goes straight down.
Yes.
So that it lines it up real good and it doesn't spin.
Pixel does it too.
Pixel has that too. Samsung does not.
Just saying.
Yeah. So I do like that they did that because, of course, I don't have any iPhone devices, but it allows you to use iPhone equipment and take advantage of that little alignment bar, and so it doesn't spin, because sometimes I hate it when the phone spins around. I want it to stay in one place. Like, I don't want it to
Yeah.
move. It irritates
Yeah,
me. So,
exactly.
yeah,
So,
little things, little things.
but let's
But
move. Let's
yeah, we'll
move on,
see.
because
So yeah,
speak, because I mean, we a very small mention of AI in there, because Google stuff, working with the Pixel
yeah,
10, the AI in it is absolutely phenomenal. It just works
yeah,
so well directly with Pixel and Google products, and with some other third party stuff, and then you still have options of ChatGPT and
right,
Perplexity, and I'm using all of them periodically for some of them, and a lot for Gemini, and I'm finding them
yeah,
all working great. But that said, as a photographer, not professional, but a photographer nonetheless, I do like to hear stuff about when they've implemented some AI stuff that you can use as a tool, because
hmm,
pros aren't going to just go, okay, AI, go do this for me, and then go have a sandwich and hope that it's going to get the look that they just spent 6 months planning to do. And I know that sounds crazy, but there are photographers out there that are doing, I'm not just talking about model photographers, by the way. I mean, wildlife photographers, architectural photographers, they might be doing it for passion, for money, or for both, right? And in some cases, there's weeks, days, weeks, months, or even years of planning for certain photography projects. But that said, for the everyday human being, according to Tech Radar, this is obviously going from other sources, but this is where I saw it. Adobe Photoshop is now built into ChatGPT for free, and you don't need graphic design skills to use it, or have to pay for ChatGPT, apparently. According to ChatGPT itself, that I had actually verified this information, it's available to free users. Now, when I say available, it's like every other software company in the world now, it's rolling out. So whether you have it now or 3 weeks from now remains to be seen. I
and I'm
don't
sure there's
have
going to
it
be
yet.
limitations, I'd imagine.
Oh, for free users, absolutely. Of course, there are going to be limitations, but at the same time,
Yeah,
it's advanced limitations. This is what ChatGPT told me, because it's basically fetching from a third party app that it just has to fetch, and it's online
right,
usage, so you don't have to actually have an Adobe account to do it. There's going to be certain things you won't be able to do in Photoshop, for instance, right? Like, I'm sure there's probably going to be a limit of how many layers you can make, or you can work
yeah,
with. In Photoshop, you can make umpteen layers in for a photo, and do incredible things with it. But this might limit you to 2 or 3 or something like that. I have no idea. I can't play with it to find out until I do, because I don't pay for Photoshop. I do pay for Lightroom. I do not pay for Photoshop. Because I
yeah.
don't know how to use it with a damn. I mean, I
Yeah, and
can, but I'm
Adobe's
not good
really
at it.
proud of their Creative Cloud
Yeah.
stuff, so it's not cheap either.
No, it's hundreds of dollars per month if you want like the whole suite, or however many dollars, $38, $58, $88, depending on how many softwares and which ones you're getting. um and if you get into videography, it gets even worse, because now you're talking about Premiere Pro, which is god knows what, a couple of $100 a month, or a few $100 a month, or something, just for that one. And then
I
you got to
have
do
no idea.
After Effects and stuff, which is, by the way, cheap plug for DaVinci Resolve. You can get it 100% free, or pay, whatever it is, 300 or 400 and something Canadian, if you're Canadian, and it's for life.
Yeah.
But it's also a free version that does about 70% of what you need to do.
Yeah, and it does 100% of what 90% of the people need. So, you know,
Yeah, that's right. So
it's
this,
but
yeah.
and I've used it. I just don't. It's just, especially for me right now, the learning curve is just too much, and it's not necessary. CapCut does what I
No, well,
need
no.
perfectly
For what I
fine.
want to do, first of all, when it comes to DaVinci Resolve, and we're way off what we're talking about, but it's, is for color grading. I like to do color grading and stuff, and for video work, and try to
That's
make
not
things
too
look
far off because
cinematic,
they all have implemented AI. Like every one of these programs we're talking about has implemented some form
including
of
DaVinci. Yeah.
AI,
But the
yeah,
difference is
AI
DaVinci
functionality.
Resolve
So,
doesn't actually technically do any edits for you, nor will it color grade for me. Um, it has different methods of what it can do. Like you can get AI to do things more efficiently and quicker that might take you more steps to do. But to
hmm
color grade, it has to be by eye. I mean, I can go into AI in any AI and ask it to give me the parameters that I need to make my own LUT or LUT, or what's called a lookup table, or LUT for short, that you can use in DaVinci Resolve or Premiere Pro or whatever to get a specific cinematic look shot with a specific type of film grade and grain and the whole bit. Well, not the grain. The grain is added after. Um, and it's technically capable of doing that, probably with some tweaking because it doesn't do it very well. But again, it doesn't have the same effect, and I have tried it, and it's not phenomenal. And the artist, like how it's shot, whether it's your footage or someone else, there's a thought in mind of how you want it to look. AI
right.
can be told that and can get pretty close in some cases, but it's never
Yeah.
going to give you what you're thinking about here, that makes you
Yeah.
feel
Well,
something
see,
for that scene.
for me, I take the picture and then I look at it and I look at it from a perspective of what do I like? Like I like sharp, bright, vibrant colors. A lot of people don't like that. I like that. So if it looks like that, I don't care what the LUT is and all this other stuff. I'm like, okay, great. That's an awesome
Right,
picture.
but
I know what it is now, but when I started my content creation 2.5 years ago, whatever, I had no idea what a LUT was. So I looked for
yeah,
programs that were like, really, um, you know, how to edit pictures for dummies kind of thing, because I was
right,
a
right,
dummy. I didn't know anything about it. So that's where I got into. There was another program I used first, Video Proc, I think is what it's called,
right. I
and
remember
then
that. Yeah,
it wasn't as good. And I'm like, I searched for something else, and then I came across CapCut. I'm like, okay, this is much better. And at the time, most of the stuff was free. Now, most of there's a lot of stuff that was free is now paid, but I
yeah,
do the pro version anyways because some of the things I want to use, and it's not expensive. It's like $100 a year or something. It's really
yeah.
cheap.
No, CapCut is really good, and a lot of people are diving
Yeah,
into it. It's meant for people, for content creators,
yeah,
or
yeah.
or
It
just people
definitely.
who want to use whatever they can on it, whether it's free or paid, for their own personal reasons. Because it works on insanely low end computers smoothly.
Yeah,
Like
and
you
they
could
have a
take
really
4K footage
nice
and it works
mobile app.
great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the mobile
well,
app's really nice too.
it is pretty good, yeah. But of
So,
course, I
anyways,
like to have more power for what I want to do. So, but that
right, but
said,
you have more photography skills, so it
I'm not
makes
even talking
sense.
about photography. I'm talking about video. Photography is
No,
different. That's Lightroom. That's entirely.
yeah, but you understand the whole.
I would never in my life, like you couldn't pay me to put a LUT on a photograph. That is 100%. I have to frame the shot, take the shot, and edit the shot 100%. I will never in my life use AI nothing on a photograph I
Right,
shoot.
that's what I'm saying. You understand the whole process, whether it's video or whether
Right.
it's footage or a photograph. You have a much better understanding of the whole gamut of dealing with imagery, whether it's moving or not. So, you have your own little thing. I am like, yeah, that looks great. Let's go. I
Right,
don't
right, yeah.
cut here,
That's
cut there, transition. Okay, great. Let's go.
Oh boy.
So yeah, anyways,
Speaking
but yeah,
of,
so back to Gemini.
yeah,
Um so as any of you have been watching this whole cat race, cat and mouse race, whatever you want to call it, you know, for a long
it's,
time it was ChatGPT. Everyone's ChatGPT. Google's on 2.5. Well, 3 comes out, blows ChatGPT out of the water. Sam Altman goes, "Oh shit." Okay, 5.1, you guys get me 5.2 out now. So he like took everybody off every other project they were
Yeah.
working on, and everyone focused on the Chat GPT
That's the code red that we've been
5.2.
hearing about.
Yeah. So 5.2 comes out within what, a week or so of 3.
Yeah.
And now he's saying, "Oh, it's so much better." And so I think I shared with you one of the screen
Yeah,
grabs I took.
yeah. But it was also, this is how much better that it is in the previous version, which even if you do the math on those numbers, still comes well short of Gemini 3.0.
Yeah, as a whole,
So,
for sure. And I'm just, and then, so now I hear rumors that, and if you listen to a lot of the podcasts that I listen to that are AI, focused, they're AI centric, it makes sense in how the Google timeline has been for their releases, and that Gemini 4 could come out by end of year, like within 2-3 weeks.
Gemini
And
4.
sorry, VO. So we're at VO 3.1, and they're saying now that
Oh,
Chat GPT and Sora and all that's, now that it's upgraded, that it's better than VO, which I still don't agree with. I still think VO 3.1 is better than the current Sora version. But if VO 4 comes out by end of year, and even has some of the things that current Sora has that it's kind of missing, like for example the cameo type thing where you can put a picture of yourself and animate yourself, whatever.
right.
It's going to destroy Sora.
Well, yeah,
Like
but
destroy
there's
it.
also another thing too, is that the Gemini fast is still 2.5. It's not 3.0. It's able to, and
Yeah.
this is the interesting thing, because 3.0 is so good that if you ask Gemini Flash on your phone or tablet, whatever, something that it needs to look up, it can access the information via 3.0. And so if
Oh,
you ask
interesting.
questions of Gemini 2.5 and it takes a half a second longer than it normally does, it may be actually delving in to get that. But it's not 3.0 at all. It's 2.5 Flash.
Yeah, I knew
However,
that.
what we're thinking here is that by the end of the year, maybe, or worst case scenario, halfway through January at the most, we should be looking at Gemini 3.0 Flash, which would be
Across
in
the
line with,
board, and
because
then
they're
maybe
going to be looking,
VO4, which should
yeah, they're going
be
to be looking
mind
at
blowing.
Gemini 3.1 or 3.5 or whatever, probably in the springtime area, no doubt, right?
Yeah. Well,
So
when 3.0 came out, I know it's not the, it's the, thinking model, but when 3.0 came out, it was just so much better than the previous version of Gemini.
well, it is the thinking model.
And right, I know that's what I'm saying. That, I was paying for that Chat GPT subscription. I just like immediately canceled it because I'm like, I I I compared them both to what I was doing, and Google was consistently performing the same most of the time better than ChatGPT. So I'm
Yeah,
like, okay, I don't want to pay for both because I already pay for the Google through the my storage plan, which I need anyways. So it's like if I'm gonna pay for it, why pay for both? I
yeah,
suppose if I were one of these channels that's what I did, and I was making money off of comparing, sure, I would pay for both versions. But for what I do, it's the paid Gemini through my storage plan. It's capable of doing,
yeah,
phenomenal. So
yeah.
I
And
just think,
when you're using Gemini Live, which once again is also using 2.5 Flash, but again, it is rumored to be updating probably by the end of the year or maybe very early into the
yeah.
next year. We'll be updating to 3.0. So you'll
But they have made
actually be
some
able to use the
improvements to the
live
current
version.
model.
You'll be able to use the live.
Yeah.
Yes, there have been. And one of them happens to be the voice. Um,
Hmm.
Unfortunately, I can't select a different voice now. I'm stuck with only the one. But just to give you an example, let me just get some volume going up here. Okay, I'm in the middle of my podcast with Robert from Nashville right now. Our podcast is called The Pairing Mode. And could you say hi to Robert and to whoever's viewing?
Hey, Robert from Nashville, and to everyone listening to the Pairing Mode. Hope you're having a great discussion today. Is there anything I can help you with during the podcast?
No, we don't need you to help with anything. We just thought maybe you'd like to join the conversation for a minute.
I'd be happy to. What topics are you two discussing today?
Well, we're talking about AI, and right now we were talking about how Gemini Live has been improved with more natural sounding voice, and how you can change your tone, as a matter of fact. As a matter of fact, can you talk quietly but really fast?
Oh, that's interesting. Yes, I can definitely adjust my tone and speed.
Well, yeah, okay,
So
but
you're-
just do it then.
Sure thing. So you're exploring how AI can
Okay,
be...
okay, all right. So you still have some faults. We'll have to admit to that. But that said, if I told you a joke, would you laugh?
As an AI, I don't experience laughter in the
Okay,
same way
I
you...
don't think that's true. So I'm going to tell you a joke, and I want you to give me your honest opinion on the joke, or how I feel about it. Here's the joke. Are you ready? Are you ready for the joke?
I'm ready. Go for it.
Two peanuts were walking down the street. One was assaulted.
That's a classic. A clever play on words. Thanks for sharing.
All right, say goodbye. Your time on the podcast is done. Say goodbye to Robert, and say goodbye to all the fans, and do a special goodbye also to Craig, and don't forget to tell him. Oh, what's that thing I always say now? I forgot. Never mind. Just say goodbye to everybody.
It was great being with you. Goodbye to Robert from Nashville.
No,
All the
no,
fans.
no. You forgot to say goodbye to Craig first, and then say goodbye to Robert, and then the fans.
And to Craig. Wishing you both a fantastic podcast recording.
Well, you got it wrong, but that's not what I said. I said everything backwards. I think it was my fault. All right, I'm gonna turn him off, as I said everything backwards there. But nonetheless, the voice sounds way more natural.
Yeah, it's much
yeah.
better.
And keep in mind, like I said, this is a 2.5 flash version of when you talk to Gemini Live. So there are still some limitations you don't get with 3.0. So 3.0 flash won't be a thinking model, but it will have access to more real time information and quickly. So it is a little less prone to mistakes. Don't get me wrong, it's AI, it still makes mistakes.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's going to be that way for a while.
Yeah. And we've come a long way, but it still makes mistakes.
Yeah, and of course, I've kind of been playing around a little bit with Perplexity. I think you kind of played out with the browser. It's very impressive in some of the things you can do, but again, I only have the pro version because I think it was my Venmo card or something stupid that I have. It's like, hey, I think they went through this really big push.
You told me it was
I might have been.
PayPal.
I saw it in PayPal, but I used that actually on something else. But it doesn't really matter. They were doing this huge push to, they were even having content creators that are paying content creators, sponsoring their channels to talk about Comet. And so they're really pushing that hard. And so they had this big media I don't know if they're still doing it or not, but they really wanted to get their browser out there. And it's very, very functional. I like using it. Some of the things that it doesn't have, though, I use all the time, especially like the synchronization. I've got to have synchronization. I can't rebuild my browser every time I log into a different device.
That would suck. That would suck.
Just like this Pixel, right? If I logged into the Pixel and it didn't bring over all my stuff, I'd be like, holy shit, I got to redo all this.
I will say this, though. While I agree that the agent mode part of it, it has benefits, especially if you're a busy person. You've got kids running around the back. You're trying to make dinner, but you absolutely need to find that new light fixture for the front porch before your in-laws come to visit next week. So instead of having to look while the sauce is spurting and spilling out onto the element,
Yeah.
you could just quickly open the browser. Unfortunately, you can't do this on the mobile browser. You have to do it on the computer. But
Yeah.
you can, if you have a laptop with you, right? You open it up on the kitchen counter table, whatever, and you open Perplexity and you just say to it, control my browser and search Amazon for light fixtures for outdoors front porch, and within
Yeah,
the
and
parameters of a
you could
certain
say keep
price,
it. Yeah.
and then open the pay now page, right? And it
Yeah.
can't do anything with it because you obviously have to, unless you've selected, you know, to click pay now one click, which, by the way, for
I don't think
the
that's
life of me,
functioning.
I don't think you should ever do that, right?
No,
Especially
I
if you
don't think
have
that's
children.
functioning.
What
So
do you
I
mean?
don't think it could actually buy. They
No,
can't
I
actually
don't think it
click
would.
the.
That's what I'm saying. It wouldn't do it.
Yeah, no, it
It won't
doesn't.
do it. I'm
Because
just saying, but you can get it to that, right? Which means it will highlight for you, not highlight it, but you'll be able to see
yeah,
your buy now button. Like you can literally be sitting there cleaning up the sauce that spilled, diapering the
sure,
one kid and telling the other one to go to his room, and then turn around and your laptop's got the page right there, and you go, well, yeah, that's a beautiful one. Right, take a quick
yeah,
screenshot of it, send it
done.
to the spouse, and say, "How about this one?" Absolutely, hit the buy now button, and Bob's your uncle.
Right,
And
and all the
yeah,
research was done
so
while you were doing other things. So
yeah, but
that's the
here's
biggest
the thing
benefit.
though. At the same time, right? I could literally be doing this right while we're talking. I could literally do this. I need to find a light fixture for the outdoor porch on Amazon. Can you give me a link, please? So while we're talking, it's now
I can certainly
looking.
help you find a light fixture for your outdoor porch on Amazon.
Sorry.
Since I don't know your specific
Okay.
style or needs.
I forgot to put it on the thinking mode. That was my fault. If I put it on the thinking one, it wouldn't be talking right now. It would just be thinking about it. And then it would come back to me with the links, which, by the way, it already did, actually. Yeah, it did. So it's
Yeah,
2 taps instead of one, right? Or maybe 3 instead of 2. And they're pretty nice. Now, if I actually set specific parameters of price, it would have given me that. So,
yeah. Now keep in mind though, everyone watching, that the agentic mode can do way more than that. That's
well,
not.
I know
That's just super
that was,
basic.
but what? Yeah, the reason why I gave that
Yeah.
example is because some of the main things that it can do aren't going to be for the average Joe as a reason to start using Perplexity. Uh, because it's some of the things it can do, the average person isn't necessarily going to be like, oh yeah, I need that.
Right. What I was going to say
Yeah.
is that the this agent mode can do things that chat can't do.
Well, yeah,
So it's
true.
that was my point. Not so much that people aren't going to use it. It's that it does have advanced capabilities for research and some other things that talking to your phone doesn't really have. But I'm sure it'll all get there. I'm sure it'll get to a point where it's like kind of like no matter
Can it
where you
open
do
things
that,
on
you're
your?
going to
Can it
have
open
this.
things on your computer?
I
Probably
don't think
not.
you can do that yet.
Yeah.
No, but
But
I
here's
know
the
I
thing:
saw
if Chrome
a
ever
demo from
decides,
Microsoft.
if if Google ever decides to add agentic capabilities to Chrome, then you probably will be able to, because it just works differently, and they'll figure a way, because all it'll need is permissions, and I don't see
Right.
why
Well, like your
Perplexity
phone
can't
right
do it
now,
too.
Gemini can control your phone, but ChatGPT can't.
But ChatGPT probably could, because they're allowed to ask
Ah,
permission.
I've tried certain things with ChatGPT and it says, "I'm sorry, I can't do that." And I can turn on and ask it of Gemini.
Yes,
It'll
because
just
they
do it
don't ask for permissions, because they're
because you
too
already gave it.
no, they're too afraid to put it in, because there's issues that could come up and blah blah blah.
Yeah, whatever. It's
Google has no problem doing it because it's Android. So their own products are
Well,
going
yeah,
to,
it's their ecosystem,
Yeah.
and you use their products. You're already agreeing to what they need you to agree to
Yes,
do it.
exactly. But the
So
first time you ever use Gemini, you still have to actually tap the thing that says, yes, I'm giving it permission. It's
right.
still right out of the box. You know that. You just got the phone, and I'm sure you had to
Yeah,
tap
it
that
prompted
button
me
for
to all
that.
that. Do you want to
Yeah,
do this? You want to do
exactly.
this? Do you want? It says yes, yes, yes.
And the
Right.
same
Yes.
thing
Once you
happens
do
with
it, though, you don't do it
Windows.
again.
Yeah, the same thing
Yeah.
happens with Windows because there's been, I want to say agentic agents, but they weren't really very agentic. But there's been bot like softwares in the
Yeah.
past for, well, over a decade, maybe a couple of decades, that you could get on Windows, basically automation programs. And they would have to get permissions, and if you tried to get it to automate something that you didn't have permission for, it would stall, and if you weren't there to hit the button, it would just fail. And that's been
Yeah.
around. That's been around since what, I want to say Windows XP.
Yeah. I did watch a. I did listen to a podcast. They were demonstrating it, but obviously I was driving, so I was just listening. Where one of the heads of AI for Microsoft with Copilot was doing a demonstration of how they're getting their Copilot to be very agentic in how it controls not only stuff like the Amazon thing, but it can control
Yeah.
your computer. But again, Copilot's built into Windows. It's like
Yes.
built into the whole operating system. So
Yeah.
it has an advantage over like ChatGPT, which you're adding to it. And so
Right.
there's a little bit more of a barrier there as opposed to like the Copilot. So
Yeah. They
it'll
make a good
eventually
point.
get there.
Yeah, you make a good point because there's one thing about Windows, is there are certain things that, as the only user of your computer, you still have to right click and open or
Yeah.
operate as administrator. You cannot get a agentic anything to do that because it'll never, Windows won't allow it.
Yeah,
Microsoft
there
will
would have to
never
be some
allow
way
that.
of
Oh
applying
God, we did
permissions
it
ahead
again.
of time.
You can still hear me.
Oh, it's froze. Yeah.
All right. You know what? We're actually getting close to the time.
Yeah,
So
it's we're at an hour
this is
anyway,
my
so
new
that's
look. I'm a
usually our cut
gray
point.
Can you even see anything as a black screen, or do you get the gray
No,
box?
we have a gray box with a little white camera in the middle
Yeah.
of it.
Okay. I am the
Pretending.
white camera. I've always wanted to just be an AI voice on a white camera. I have lived my
Yes.
lifelong dream,
Bucket
and
list checked.
I am now just a floating voice. So, floating
Yes.
voice from Toronto, which we didn't say earlier, by the way. I am
We didn't.
Lionel from Toronto, and I'm going to say my goodbyes right now. You guys have a great time, and I'm just saying, and you can go now. I realize you can't.
I am
see
Robert
me.
from Nashville, and with the holidays, we might not be on next week, but it might be a little spotty the next couple of weeks. So, but we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.